in the garage today just to kind of mess around with the BMW and see what I can fix on it. Clearly I'm in a tank top and flip-flops, so it's hot right now, but the heater, I guess the blower motor hasn't worked in this thing for quite some time. I'll go ahead and show what it does. I guess it technically works, but it only works at the level 4, which is the highest setting. I have everything ready. Nothing. Terrible sounds. I don't know how well that picks up. Those don't work. Clearly the wipers have been set on and I didn't even realize it because they don't work. Nothing happening. So we're just gonna poke around, see what we can fix. I do have a new blower motor that I can put in, and while that's out, I'll have access to the wiper motor, so I can test that. Yeah, like I said, I don't need them right now, but as we get closer to fall weather, and if there's like an early event, I might need it to defrost a little bit better or clean up the windshields. So we'll go ahead and try to get these parts changed out and go from there. So that process was pretty straightforward. It was I think four bolts. I took off the harness, or the bracket that holds the wiring harness, just to get better access to that bottom bolt down here. And then there were 2 of those plastic screws, and then I took off the screws for the harness clamp over here, just to give myself more room. And so I mean, I could have just unclipped that and left this attached, but it was easy enough. Who knows how old this gunk is in there, but our unit should be under there. So this was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Once I got the cover off, the bracket was on the cover. This was held in by basically just 2 of those plastic clamps, or whatever you want to call them. They popped off really easily. I'm imagining they have to be original, so if my crusty, rusty E30 plastic things can still snap apart and not break, I think everybody's will be able to do that. So we got that off. This was the retaining bracket. You can see I've already pulled the old blower motor out. This basically was around this, not necessarily in this spot, but this top piece clamped behind it, so you couldn't see it, but the front piece of it clamped in pretty easily. And then just using a screwdriver, pop that off, wiggled this off. At that point, this was free, so I got this end out first and then pulled it out. You can see we have the nice new one. It is whatever brand that is, and there's the part number. But has everything we need. I'll do it reverse, just put this section in first and then this part. I guess I'll have to line it up right to have the orientation of the wires. They were almost, I guess this one was a little bit to the front, this one was pretty much on the top. And then, you know, this piece will go back on, cover, clamp, bracket, all the screws, and yeah, that'll go back in. There's the 2 wires hanging out, and here's the plastic things I was talking about. These side pieces were still connected, which held it tight, so I just clipped those afterwards, and then I was able to loosen everything and get the unit out okay. little pause in the time lapse just to explain how I got this clip on, because it was pretty difficult. So this clip here has like a slot in the back behind it, and then it clamps over this plastic lip, not the metal piece, the plastic lip. It makes a lot more sense with the unit out, but what I did was I kind of flattened it out a little bit towards the back section just because I couldn't get that curve in there. I had the blower motor about halfway out or halfway in. Standing from the driver's side, I was able to get the clamp in the back and just hook it. Remember, I straightened that back part out a little bit, not where it hooks, but then this curve. So I was able to clip it in the back, push the blower motor all the way in, and then basically I stood on the engine and was able to push this front clip over the plastic lip. It was very difficult to get it over the lip. Like, I was able to push it on, but it would never go all the way over and snap into place. But then I found standing on it gave me a little bit more angle and a little bit more leverage to get that piece fully on. So the blower motor's in, both sides spin without rubbing or any resistance. So now let's get the cover on, get the clips back together, other cover, bracket, and then we'll test it. All right, this is future me popping in. As you'll see later in the video, I only half fixed my problem. So when you have everything taken apart, this is the new blower motor inside. This is the resistor. It basically just slid in underneath the blower motor and clipped into place, and you can see it has 4 pins. Good time to also replace this. Here's a brand new one. So when you're changing out your blower motor, make sure to pick up a resistor if you need one. It popped out easy. I just grabbed it, pulled it straight out. So this next one should just push right in. I think I mentioned it, but I had a new wiper relay. This is an old one. It still says it's made in West Germany, so might be original, not sure. But put the new one in, test it to see if we had battery voltage to the pin, I guess, and we did, so we were good there. I didn't have anything to kind of, I guess, jump the pins to test the motor and all that and see how things are going, but just turned it on and they work. They're not in great condition, but at least I knew, and I wish this one sat a little lower. Need some new blades, but one job done. They work. So that's everything put back together. This piece looks worn, but whole engine bay looks dirty. Mostly job well done. We got the old part out, got a new part in, figured out our wipers, they're still going. And then, you know, we got rid of the noise, so that's one part that better. So I'm here now after the first go around of putting in just the blower motor. Removed the bad sound of the heater, but it still didn't work on 1, 2, or 3. So I just put in the new resistor now, and I'll go ahead, just turn the car on, and then it's quiet, but at 1 it works, 2 works, 3 works, 4 works, and with none of them there is a bad sound, so I can officially say the blower motor repair job with the blower motor resistor is complete.